Welcome back. Today we're discussing rise of diabetes on today's episode of Rendezvous. I'm joined in the studio by Dal Dhaliwal. In the first part of the show, we discussed diabetes and reasons behind this. As always, please do tweet your views to us on @Gurjot and BritAsia TV. Now, the NHS spends approximately 10% of its budget on diabetes, and 80% of that budget goes on treating consequences such as amputation, kidney failure, heart disease and strokes, many of which people don't realise can happen due to diabetes. Baroness Young, Chief Executive of Diabetes UK, said the big increase in the number of people with diabetes confirms that we are in the middle of an unfolding public health disaster that demands urgent action. It's frightening to think that 1 in 17 people you walk past in the street has been diagnosed with the condition. I mean, that is such a large proportion when you think of how many people you meet, how many people you walk by, how many people you see on the crowded tubes. There must be at least a dozen people within those tubes who have been diagnosed with diabetes or who have diabetes but don't know about it. So it's quite frightening. I mean, what are the signs of diabetes? How can someone tell that maybe they need to get checked out for it?
Okay. The signs, well, number one, during the night, getting up a lot during the night to go to the toilet, passing water. Blurred vision as well, slightly, you might have, your eyes might be affected as well, and sudden weight loss or losing bulk all of a sudden for no apparent reason. More obvious with the type 1 diabetes, maybe not so obvious all the time with type 2 diabetes, sometimes not even obvious at all. But if you do display those symptoms, the best thing to do is go to your GP and get yourself tested and see if it is related to that. It could be related to something else as well. So so that's quite interesting signs. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that weight loss would be a sign of a potential sign of diabetes. So again, it goes back to the sort of obesity or slim factor. You don't have to be a large scale to have the disease. You can be any shape or size. Yeah. I always say, if in doubt, go to your GP and get yourself checked out if you are displaying the signs, because sometimes it might not be related to that, but you could kind of scare yourself thinking it is. But if you are displaying those signs and they are going on for quite a while, it's best to get yourself checked out. As soon as you can. Advisable.
And what are the tests? I mean, how do you differentiate between how someone gets type 1 or type 2 diabetes?
The GP will do the tests as well. There'll be a set.
Is that when they prick you with the...
So that depends on the GP you go and see as well, where you go, whether you go to the hospital or whether you go to your GP as well. But it is, if you are concerned, best to get yourself tested, because it is so common. And especially if you know there's quite a lot of people in your family have got it as well, so it's best to go.
Genetic, of course.
Again, there's a strong link with genetics as well. So.
Now, going back to the prevention, which you are obviously the master at right now in terms of fitness. I mean, controlling sort of diets as well as fitness, what do people need to do to try and prevent this, or just generally keep a healthy lifestyle?
Well, if you're displaying the obvious signs where you are overweight, obviously you need to start moving. Now, moving doesn't mean you have to go to a gym and start lifting weights and start throwing things around. Just going for a walk, just gradually building up and going for a gentle walk, and then taking it from there and building up each week. Dietary changes definitely have to be put in place, so you need to look at your diet. And again, you can hire a professional. You can go to a dietitian, hire a personal trainer who can have a look at your diet and see where we can make the changes for you. But you do need to make the changes. You will need to start moving more. So
is there any particular type of exercise that would benefit people that they should focus on?
Okay, so it depends on your age as well. So if you're a little bit older, the best place to start is start by walking. Because you can't go wrong with walking. It's cheap. You could just go out and
go around the corner.
Get yourself some nice walking shoes, trainers, and go for a walk. So it depends on your age. I would start off gradually. So depending on if you've exercised before or not, which you more likely probably haven't exercised that much before, then start off gradually. And if in doubt, hire a professional to...
So like sit-ups or steps?
I wouldn't go for sit-up. Cardiovascular exercise, so we're talking about big movements, maybe walking, cycling, swimming. Swimming is a nice one. A lot of ladies like to go swimming as well. And you're older as well, you can go swimming. So yeah, that's a good place to start.
I suppose the swimming is slightly easier than, sort of lifting weights and more of a relaxed...
I'd go for more cardiovascular exercises to start off with. So we're looking at the walking and the cycling and the swimming and maybe dancing. Go to dance class, bhangra class.
Good idea.
Something you'll enjoy as well. You're more likely to stick to it.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I mean, what advice would you give to those who may have signs of diabetes or who have actually been diagnosed with the disease?
Okay. Well, if you think you've displaying the signs that we discussed, obviously you go to your GP and get that confirmed. If you've been, obviously if you've been diagnosed with diabetes, your the health professional should have already told you what you need to do. Again, if you're in doubt, you could always join a gym and then perhaps ask the instructors there to, I've been diagnosed with diabetes too, what do I need to do? They should be able to help you.
Do you get a lot of people who have diabetes coming to you?
Yes, I do. I've had a lot of people, or who have been told if they continue with the lifestyle they've got, they will. They will have diabetes. So they've sort of come in and thinking, I've got to make that change now before I do get diagnosed, which is good because there's going back to prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
So,
do you think more women tend to get diabetes or more men?
It's both. For me, from my experience, who've come to see me, I mean, now I only train women, but in the past I've had men as well. It's both. It's not depend on your sex, it's gender. It is both.
Yeah, and any ages as well.
Yeah.
And what help is out there for people who have got the disease, and how can, if they need to talk to someone or again exercise?
Number one, your health professional, your GP, will be able to set you on the right route to get help. So the NHS have got programs in, management programs.
Okay.
So they'll be able to help you.
Do you tend to work closely with the NHS?
We have a lot of cases with diabetes coming to my way where I work with the exercise side of things as well.
Yeah.
And also, people can get quite down when they've been diagnosed with a health element like diabetes. So we're working with their mindset as well to help them feel quite kind of lifted and to be able to cope with with their condition.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Dal, congratulations on all of your success. So if people want to contact you and do some fitness exercises or swimming or whatever you can help them with, how would they contact you?
Okay, they can contact me via my website, www.bodyperfectpt.com, or they can find me on Twitter and Facebook, Dal Dhaliwal PT.
Okay.
You can tweet me, or I'm quite very, very active on social media, so you can catch up with me there as well.
Perfect. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for. I'd like to thank Dal for coming on the show today. Now, make sure you stay tuned next week where we will be talking to India Kang for a special Singles in Your 30s episode. Stay tuned for Rendezvous, same time, same place next week. Bye for now.